Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Yeah, man, they say suicide was raping the little young white boys that come in there, man. Now, he won't just exclusive to white boys. He'll try the little young black dudes too, but they say his, preference was the little young white dudes that was new in the system. They was green, they was scared, and man, they say he would go get in the shower with them. When he seen them young dudes go get in the shower, because I told you we had an open shower, and they say suicide would go get in the shower with the dudes and stand right beside him, man, and just watch him, just stare at him, and be playing with himself. And then he got the Bethlehem in the other hand. And the dudes be so terrified, if he see the fear in them, then he would start leaning on him, start pressing them and stuff. I was like, what? They said, yeah, and they said, man, that's what they used to tell them. Used to tell the little young dudes, don't fall for it, it's suicide. It was like, that's how he got his name. I said, man, come on, man. But that's what the rumor was, and that's what everybody said about him, man. But I just remember after I heard that story, every time I seen him, that just popped in my mind. And then I inventoried it in my mind. I used to see him too, going to them showers, just like he watched. He stand out in front of the cell, be smoking cigarettes. He see the little young white dudes come in there, they get to go in the shower. Next thing you know, he put his little cigarette out, he go on in the room, come back out with his towel and shower stuff. He go into the shower. I said, oh man, yeah. Yeah, so that's why you had the protection game going on there. The young dudes would come on there, then you had some dudes that was like, they about that business. They like, boom, they trying to get some money. So they be like, look, if you got somebody trying to do something to you, somebody trying to extort you, whatever, yeah, pay me such and such and such, I'm going to keep all the rest of that foolishness away from you. So they had all of that going on Powhatan, man. So, like I say, you got to learn the lay of the land when you get there, who's who, what's going on, this, that, and third. But you had some real live apex predators on this joint right here, man, for real. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I'm looking and I'm getting it all in order in my mind, who's who and what they about and what they doing, so I know who to talk to, who not to talk to, who I don't even want to talk to, period. You understand me? So that's how I be when I get on the institution anyway. I don't go on there talking to people that I don't know. I got to know you. I got to already have had some type of dealings with you, been somewhere else with you or whatever. Other than that, I ain't had no whole lot of breath for you. So when I first got there too, like I say, I had another homeboy that was on there. He was already on Greensville with me. I already knew him and everything. They call him Richard Rich. Shout out Richard Rich, man. Richard Rich crazy is all outdoors, man. He do his the hard way. The hard way. He ain't playing no games. If he get to beefing with you, he might try to press you. He might try to extort you. You know what I'm saying? For some money or something like that. But if he get to beefing with you and he don't like what's going on, he gonna get that Bethlehem and he gonna put it in you, and he ain't gonna be playing with you neither. He gonna be trying to take you away from here. And that's exactly what happened probably within the first couple of weeks I was there. Man, he had something going on with his celly. So next thing you know, man, they was hollering lockdown. And it came around there, man. It's Richard Rich then hit his celly up about 8 or 9 times, man. They had to take that man out there on the helicopter. And that was the last time I seen Richard Rich till years later when I got up in the mountains myself, up Wallace Ridge. I didn't even actually see him then, but he was up there. He was on the other side. To the best of my knowledge, he'd been up in the mountains ever since that incident. So you talking about 99, when this jumped off, 99, 2000. So he been up there for the best, I got up there in, 2009. Yeah, I think I got up there in 2009. He had already been up there the whole time since then, and to the best of my knowledge, that's where he's still at. But yeah, so that had happened. That was like one of the first big incidents when I was on there. My celly on Powhatan, they come around every morning. All the officers before breakfast and anything jump off, they coming around there every morning. They gonna come up in the block, probably, man, 30, 40 deep. And what they do is they do bar window check, being that they got bars and they got windows. So they coming around, they gonna check the bars, make sure ain't nobody trying to saw their way out. They gonna check the windows. So every morning you got to get up, come outside your cell, stand there, wait for them to go inside your cell, check your cell, hit the bars, make sure everything ain't nothing broken. Nothing like they do that every morning. That was one of the most annoying things about Powhatan. I can remember it was getting closer and closer to the time for him to get ready to leave. And we had this lieutenant on here, man. He was the worst lieutenant on the compound. He the worst of the worst, man. He one of them type of officers, man, that when you locked up, you don't never want to run across, man. I think his name was Mortensen. Man, he was a Morton or Mortensen. I think it was Morton. Man, he was a real live donkey, man. A real live donkey. He was one of them type of officers that you get that just want to pick at you, abuse his authority, run his mouth all the time. He talked real fast, had glasses. He looked like a cold nerd. That's probably why he loved the job, because now he probably been picked on all his life. Now he can turn around and be the bully. So, man, I hated him, man. I ain't going to tell you no lie. The whole time I stayed on Powhatan, I probably got like 9 charges. And the 9 charges I got came between him and this property officer, which was pure garbage as well. Pure garbage, man. But anyway, so nobody on the compound liked him. He talked real fast, like he was on cocaine or something. Oh, what you say? What you say? Huh? Yeah, all right. I lock you up. That was his whole attitude about anything. Give you a charge for anything he found. He gave me a charge one time because he shook my cell down. I had some salt and pepper in there from the kitchen, little salt and pepper packs. The man gave me a charge for contraband for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how petty he was. But anyway, my cellie ain't like him neither. So my cellie used to say every morning when they come around for the bar window check, he used to be like, yeah, y'all, get up, everybody get up, come on, get up out cell. Come on, boy. That's how he talk. That's how he is. His whole attitude. Somebody, man, plenty of people wanted to crush him, man, but he really won't worth it, because you're gonna pay a hell of a price for it. But man, he used to be begging to get smacked. So I used to pray for I see the day somebody tore him up, man. But the dude ended up getting at him one time. I believe we jumped across the table on him at a charge. You know what I'm saying? But he couldn't get him like he wanted to get him. But man, you would think that would shake him up. Now he came back still running his mouth even more, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't do but take a street charge out on you and get you some more time. But yeah, he was a piece of trash, man. So my cellie said, he said the next time that he say something to me, he said, man, I'm gonna cuss him out. He said, but I pray he be working in the morning that I get out, man. Cause when he come around here for that bond window check in the morning that I get out, he said, man, I'm gonna let him have it. I'm gonna cuss him out like I don't know what, man. I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah. So I thought he was snatching at first. I said, he ain't gonna really do it. Shoot. It came time for us the morning that he's supposed to be leaving. Man, they come around for that bond window check. So he just laid up on his bed. He on the top bunk. He laid up there reading the book. So the people come. They coming down the line. They said, get up, man. Come up the stairs. Come up the stairs. So I get up. I walk out. He don't move. He don't move at all. So I'm like, okay. So boom. He waiting. So the CO said, hey, man, come on out your cell, man. Bond window check. He said, I ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, look, this ain't no time to be playing. Come on, how about say? He's like, I ain't moving. I told you I ain't moving. You ain't heard me? So they called Lieutenant down there. Morton, he come in. He said, hey, get up out that cell, man. Get up out that bunk, man. He said, man, I ain't going nowhere, man. He said, oh, you going somewhere? Yeah, you going to jail. That's where you going this morning. You going to jail. You want to play with me? So he pulled his little handcuffs out, right? And dude sit up on the bed, jump down on the floor. He bag up. Now, that's another thing on Powhatan, too. Might be the only camp I was on. They do this the old school stuff. They did it in the wall, and they did it at Powhatan. They wear them nightsticks. They got the nightstick with their uniform, that long wooden billy club. No other compound I've been on had it besides the wall and Powhatan. Yeah, they wear the nightsticks with their uniform. So he pulled his little nightstick out. Tell me, so what? What you gonna do? They got 40 officers out there, right? So the white dude get in, right? He looking at him. He's like, I ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing either, but I ain't going to jail. Oh, he said, oh, you going to jail. He said, I ain't going to jail. He said, well, you want to bet? You want to bet? Hey, y'all, come on. So he get his little mob up and everything. So he said, nah, yeah, I want to bet. I ain't going to jail because I go home this morning. Yeah, that's where I go. He said, well, you ain't going home this morning? He said, man, you can't stop me from going home. That's court order. My time up. I'm waiting on y'all to come get me right now, pack me up, process me out. He said, oh, yeah? He said, what's your name? What's your name? So he get on the radio, call, check his name. So he find out the boy leaving that morning, so it ain't nothing you can do to him. He tell him, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Come on up out the cell. You going to jail and wait down there till you leave. Yeah, that's what you going to do. You going to jail and wait down there and right in that jail till you leave. He said, man, okay, whatever. He said, but I tell you what, if you put your hands on me, I don't live nowhere but right there in the street. He said, I guarantee you, me and my brother will be waiting for you out there in the parking lot. Waiting for you right out there in the parking lot when you get off. So he told me, oh, you threatening me? Oh, yeah, you ain't going home then. That's a charge right there. He said, I don't care what kind of charge it is. Can't be nothing but a state charge. You can't take no street charge out on me. Yeah, he said, and even if you do, I got to go to court, get processed, get found guilty. I'm going home today. Put your hands on me. I be in that parking lot. Man, that dude was scared to death. He tried to play it out. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. You ain't coming in no parking lot. Yeah, we be waiting for you out there. He was scared. You can see it in his face. Cause now he know he dealing with somebody getting ready to hit them streets. He ain't want no parts of that. Cause I'm telling you, that white boy was serious. He won't play it. He said, yeah, you try me if you want to. So they took him on up out there, man. And he ended up leaving that morning, man. So I had to get another cell partner. I ain't know who it was going to be, but I knew they won't come in there with no foolishness because this camp was already starting to be off the chain. I could see how it's moving and everything. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got into my own routine, man. I just started working out. I had a couple of homies on there, man. Then they brought my little homeboy up there, Skinny, man. Little Skinny, man. Salute Skinny, man. And I had met Skinny on Nottaway. He was my little homie. You know what I'm saying? I met Skinny because I was going to beat up his brother on the basketball court, Mo. Mo was the talker. Skinny was the calm man. But, you know, he came over there, man. I was already cool with him, but I ain't know Mo was his brother, so Mo was running his mouth out there. Mo was going to get that business. And even though he was a homeboy, I was going to give him that business because he was just talking too vicious. And then Skinny told me it was his brother. I gave him a pass. I let it pass. We all ended up being all right, but me and Skinny was real cool. So when Skinny came on there, I ended up getting Skinny to move in the cell with me. So Skinny was my cellie. So I'm cool now with the cellie because it's somebody that I know I can coexist with, I can get along with, man. And yeah, me and him was cellies, man, for a minute, man, and that was my dude, man. I had a little crew of dudes that was from the city, man, the little younger dudes that was up there, man, that I messed with. Skinny, Big D, you know, Sean, we had a little crew. And, you know, I tried to get them into working out, man. Tried to teach a couple of them some, you know, something about boxing or whatnot like that. We played cards or whatever. And you know, that's how I got into my groove on Powhatan. But, man, since I've been out, man, Skinny had got out way before me. Since I've been out, Skinny had found out I was out, man. He called me. He talked to me, man. We was chopping it up. Everything was good, man. I was telling him I was definitely trying to see him. He was out there in Alexandria. And I talked to him, man, a couple of weeks in a row, man, you know, a couple of times as he back and forth to work or whatnot. He was out there doing construction with his brother Mo. And then I just lost contact with him, man. Kept calling the number, we get no number back. So I just let it be. Say, you know, I guess he got busy. When he get back, you know, free, he'll get in touch with me. And, man, recently somebody told me, man, that, man, Skinny passed away, man. Skinny was younger than me, man. He was a youngin'. And say, man, yeah, he say he OD'd, man. He got out here, man, got to mess with them drugs, man, and he messed around and OD'd, man. So, you know, that don't hurt my heart, man. It hurt my heart, man, because he was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. And that's why I be trying to tell these stories, man, so these young people out here understand. It's not just prison, man. You know, it's outside world, too. It starts out here, man. You got to be cautious of what you're doing, man, because your life is priceless, man. And you throw your life away, man, for a couple of minutes of gratification, man, it's just not worth it. And you know, a lot of dudes, they go into prison even without habits, and they get into prison and they pick up these habits because they so bored. They ain't got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? They you know, they drain. You know, they facing doom and gloom every day, so they look for escape and they start doing drugs, man. And that's just a bad habit to pick up. And I think that's what happened to Skinny, man. He started doing it while he was in prison. And by the time he got out, man, he had a full-blown habit, and it took his life, man, which is a sad situation, man. But But while we was on there though, man, we just was moving and grooving, man, just working out, playing basketball, man. You know, I was playing basketball a lot during this time, which was controversy in itself too. Dudes was getting fighting on the court all the time. All the time dudes get it rumbling on the court because everybody think they Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to be Scottie Pippen or Steve Kerr. Everybody want to be Michael Jordan. So a lot of fights broke out on the basketball court. Like I say, man, in the nighttime and in the daytime in there, that's when, especially at nighttime, but it goes down in the daytime too. But in the nighttime up there, man, that's when all the rumbling and everything go on, man. Dudes run up and do sell on commissary day. You old dudes, man, dudes take your commissary, they coming with it. They ain't playing with it. They be waiting for you to walk in the building with your bags. Dudes be waiting. Dudes that was weak, when they try to go upstairs with their bag, man, dudes go right behind them, cut their bag open with a razor blade, let all this stuff fall on the floor, man, start taking it, and dudes act like they bucking and they pull that Bethlehem out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you had to be able to fend for yourself when you was on Powhatan, because one thing for certain, it wasn't no help coming. And whatever help came on Powhatan, it came too late. You understand me? And like I say, the captain, Johnson, he ran the institution. He knew what was going on and everything. But he was he was also the type of dude that ran the institution was, he wasn't going for no snitching. He ain't like snitches. He told you straight up. So all them dudes that was in there getting pressed, you know what I'm saying, for either their sex or getting pressed for their money or whatever, and they try to check in or they try to write. If Captain was on Johnson was on shift, he'd tell him go on back up in there. You ain't checking in today. I ain't doing no paperwork on you. Get your scared tail on back up in there. You should have thought about that before you got locked up. That's how he was current. You know what I'm saying? So them dudes was scared and terrified. They felt like they had no win. And then if dudes try to write them and tell something, or man, or such doing this, such, man, Captain Johnson to bring the note in the block and stand out in the middle of the pod and say, look, I got one snitching. He said, he tell me who the store box man is. He tell me, I got one snitching. You know, and man, them dudes was in the world of trouble up on that jump. I'm telling you, if you couldn't fend for yourself on there, you was in the world of trouble. Because he ain't had no cut card. And to my understanding, he got that job because he used to work back in M Building. M Building is a notorious jail of Mecklenburg. Notorious jail. That's one of the most famous jails in the Virginia penal system, that M Building. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're on Mecklenburg, something, it's M Building. Because they was known to house dudes back there for decades, years, and it's crazy back there. You ain't got nothing coming back there. You in dead man's land. You understand me? Only time you might see them people when they come back there, bring them 3 trays, and that's it. Asking for stuff, trying to get, you ain't get nothing. So you on your own back there. So you ain't want to get stuck in M Building. But M Building had been, like I say, the prison was so old that they actually had the outside cage where they take you outside to go to rec at. They had a lot of pigeons back there, so they used to defecate all over the place. And to my understanding, that stuff is poisonous when you intake and inhale that stuff for long periods of time. So a lot of officers that ended up working back there in M Building had got sick. They had got this disease called a breathing disease, a lung disease called histoplasmosis or something like that. And a lot of them put lawsuits against the state for, catching that disease. And the state compensated a lot of them and settled out of court. I understood that he was back there, he was just a regular officer, and he had a mean lawsuit because he caught it and he sued him, and he took some type of deal whereas he would be promoted because he had already been there for decades, and he would be promoted to a captain if he dropped the lawsuit. This is what I heard. Whether it's true or not, that's how he got promoted. And they say once he had been working back there for so long, over a decade, and all the sergeants and lieutenants and stuff that used to carry him, he went straight over top of their head and became their boss, and he dragged them, man. I mean, they were scared of him more so than they was of the inmate, because he can get you fired, he can get you put on the street without pay, and that's how he carried it, and I respected him for that part of the way he carried his job, because he was the only one. If he was on shift, if it was him on shift, they had another captain, which was a white dude. He won't hit on nothing. But when he was on shift and an officer was trying to lock you up or an officer that said something slick to you and you done stood your ground because you knew you was right, and you go to him, and because you got to go through him. If he the watch commander, he the one gonna call when you get locked up, and now he'll bring you right in there with the officer and say what happened. And he'll let you tell your partner, the officer tell his partner. And if he felt like you was right or he was carrying you, he'll say, man, go on back to your block. Go on. And man, they hated him for that. But they couldn't do nothing about it because he was the big man. He was the power man. You know what I'm saying? So I respected him a whole lot for that. I respected him for the fact that he didn't tolerate that snitching. He was gonna let it be known. He was gonna put you out there. So that cut down on the snitching on there while I was on there and while he was on there, because if he knew you was snitching, he was gonna tell it. If he told it, dudes was coming to see. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I give him a lot of credit for that. But overall though, man, he thought he was a pimp. He thought he was the man. He had got so many sexual harassment charges, but they couldn't find him because he had some type of deal in play. But I remember being on there one time, man. They said the kitchen lady came running down the hall, screaming and hollering, talking about, he touching me. She ended up getting a lawsuit on him, saying he was back there fraternizing with her, touching all on her and stuff, and she ain't like it, and she ran up out there. They said she got paid off a lawsuit, an undetermined amount of money. They paid her to sell out of court, but all he got was a slap on the wrist. They sent him over to receiving for 6 months. And 6 months later, he was right back over there in his own post and walking through I'm back. Head cocked to this, I'm back. Yeah, y'all better get it in order because I'm back. And y'all better get it in order because I'm back. Yeah, the boss is back. And man, like I told you, he was a funny dude. He was a character within himself, man. But like I say, as far as the institution goes, man, like I say, you had some crazy dudes on this institution, man. Some dudes that I'm probably going to do some stories about that in the line. Like I told you, you had suicide. Man, you had one of these dudes on here, man. It turned out to be one of my best friends, man. He was an older dude, man, been locked up a long time, man. At this time, I think he had already been locked up 30-something years when I meet him. His name was Tuck, man. They called him Tuck, man. Shout out Calvin Tucker. And they used to say, Calvin Tucker, a bad mother, watch your mouth. Yeah, he was a mean old cuss, man. Little short, balled up face, man. Bald head, man. All these bumps all on the craters and stuff. But he looked just so mean. Big old belly. But he was thick all up top. And they say, man, when he first came in the penitentiary, man, he was a monster. Real strong. Tear you up on that football field. But inside these walls, man, let me tell you something. I don't care who you is. You mess with Calvin Tucker, you better be ready to die, man, because Tuck was crazy as all get out. And he done got so settled now into his bit that he ain't even really worried about getting out. And I'm telling you, and I know this for a fact because he had already been locked up so long. He worked in they had the tag shop on Powhatan. Everybody who got a license plate on their car in Virginia, it came out of Powhatan prison. They make the license plates for Virginia and Powhatan prison. For slave wages, they make them license plates. But in the penitentiary, they making more money than the average person because it's an enterprise job. Some of them dudes working there, man, overtime and everything, man. They go to work at 6 in the morning. You might not see them till like 7 or 8 at night. You know what I'm saying? Every day. So they was bringing home, some of them dudes bringing home like $100, $200 something a month. You know what I'm saying? Which is great money in the penitentiary, best job you gonna get. But you working for it and you really putting in that work. But Tuck had worked over there for a long time. And I remember one time, man, that they came to get him for parole, to take him up for a parole hearing. And Tuck, man, I'm telling you, he's a mean one, boy. He just mean. And Tuck said he ain't want to go. They told me he had to go over there. Tuck go all the way over there, get over there for the parole hearing and cuss the people out. Man, don't y'all never call me over here taking me away from my job, making me lose money for this MF parole. Y'all ain't going to give it to me. Don't call me over here no more. Let me up out of here. And rolled up out of. That was his parole hearing. You know what I'm saying? So you tell me that ain't crazy. That's Tuck. That's how he act. He had a single cell because on Powhatan, they had the bottom tier, the second tier, and the third tier. When they got to The second tier, the end cells, the last 5 cells on the second tier was delegated to single cells. All the other cells was doubled up. Then on the third tier alone, all the cells were single cell. So dudes would be trying to get them single cells. They at first had it because of the dudes that work in these wood shops and stuff like that. But then it wasn't enough for them because you got them in other blocks too. The dudes might work over there. So those cells was, you had to get in line to get it. It went by seniority, how long you been on the block, how long you been on the list, you know what I'm saying, had you had any charges, it's X amount of time. So everybody was vying for them cells and trying to get them single cells. But mostly everybody that was up there that had them single cells was people who had them, who had been there for a long time and they had been on the list and they ended up getting them cells. So Tuck got one of them cells, and man, he used to have his cell so clean because he was still stuck in prison mode. He get his floor waxed. He take his shoes off when he walk in there. When you come to his cell to talk to him, you can't step in his cell. You step up in his cell. Hey, get up out here. Put your feet on my floor. You know, that he just was crazy. Man, this man was so crazy, but the police knew he was crazy and they were scared of him. They knew. He had different rules than most people on there because he had been there so long and they know about him and they know what's going on with him. In the summertime, I told y'all it'd be so hot up in there. So hot, man. I'm telling you, like you want to peel your skin off. Man, Calvin Tucker, man, would come out there in the summertime and walk up out of his cell on that second floor all the way down to T. He slept all the way, like the third or fourth cell from the end. He would walk all the way down to the front end where they had the shower at, with nothing but a towel across his shoulder and a bar of soap. Yeah, buck naked. Buck naked. It might be a woman down there, anything. The new ones would go say, hey, this man, and try to give him a charge. You get over there, they say, who is he? Watch Commander Caps. Oh man, that's Calvin, leave him alone. He crazy. That's what he do. He walks to the shower naked, take a shower, walk back naked. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He didn't care. They told me he had been doing it for years. I remember I first seen it. I said, what in the world? Tuck goes to that shower buck naked and come on back. Then you don't want to go to the cell, because if you go to the cell before you knock or anything like that or walk past there, don't even look. Tuck might be sitting up there on the bed, buck naked, watching TV. Buck naked, man. I mean, you know, these characters in prison, man. But like I say, he was a mean dude. The only thing he really cared about was, you know, like I say, respect, and you ain't gonna play with him. And he had this real connection, man, with these freak books, man. What we call in prison freak books is pornographic magazines. It was hard to get in there. Sometimes, one time they was letting them get them, but then you get the ones that get real hardcore. It's just like actual porno movies on pages, and police would sneak them in for money or whatever. You really weren't supposed to have. But Tuck had a rack of them, and he used to actually loan them out. He would rent them out. Somebody could come get the book for about, you know, an hour or something, and you had to pay Tuck $5, $10 or whatever. So he would keep a list of who got his books or whatever, because he had books going out here and there and everywhere. Man, let me tell you something. They came around there, this before I got there, but I heard about it. It's legendary up in there. But they had came around there one time doing the shakedown and going through random cells, and they had some new officers, and Tuck was at work in that tag shop, and they went in Tuck's cell and they took them books. Shh. Tuck came back from work and went in that cell and found out his books was gone and people had been in the cell. First thing he did, he thought somebody in the block might have did it. So he comes out in the block raising Cain. Anybody been in my cell? If I find out who you is, I promise you, you don't look like the bride of Frankenstein when I finish with you. I'm gonna kill you. And everybody ran. He's snapping, right? So people tell him that people went in the cell. I mean, the police went in your cell, they shook your cell, and police ain't going to my cell, take nothing out my cell. They know. Man, the people took something out your cell. Man, they said, Tuck, man, get that Bethlehem and ask to see the major. And they say Tuck goes over there to see the major, you know, because I told y'all the major run most institutions. You know what I'm saying? He calls the shots. So they said Tuck got that Bethlehem, went over there to see the major, asking him about his books. The major and them know about him and everything. He told him there was some new officers. If they took him, he'll see if he can get him back. If he can't get him back, then I can't get him back. But you know you don't supposed to have him. Man, they said Tuck snapped in there. What you mean I don't supposed to have him? You know I've been here. I've been here for years, decades. Yeah. And Tuck, he said, hey, Calvin, you better calm down. Man, they said Tuck pulled that Bethlehem out and stabbed that joint in the desk right in front of the major. Boom! And said, if you don't get these books back, I'll kill you up in here.
The bacon special.
Yeah.
Pure delicious.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.